Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the ATR high-low range indicator. But before we do, if you have not watched our first video and the videos after that, you need to go do that now. At the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. And as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down below. You can also find a link to sign up for TradingView down below. If you use the link below, you will save a little bit of money. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Discord is a free group communication platform. On our Discord server, we are having great conversations about all things regarding trading. One of the biggest struggles on this channel is people who use other platforms like MT4 being able to follow along. Sometimes it can be hard to find the indicators we are using on other platforms. And so on our Discord server, I have created a channel for indicator creation. And on that channel, I pinned links to freelancers who can code indicators for MT or for TradingView. So if you don't want to create a TradingView account, you can hire a freelancer for a really small fee and have them code an indicator for the MT platform. Or if you are on TradingView and need an indicator created, something unique or an indicator for a system you have developed, you can also have them code PineScript. So use the link for either MT4 coding or use the link for PineScript. Lastly, I get a lot of people that are asking me for the entire list of all the winning indicators that we have tested to date. And whereas I am not a big proponent of gatekeeping information, I've put a lot of time and effort into creating the content on my YouTube channel. And so I don't think it is too much to ask for the viewers to go through and view the content that I've spent a lot of time creating. Now, if you are not interested in supporting our channel by going back and watching the content that I have created, then I have developed a solution for you. I've created a Patreon account. I will put a link to it down below in the description. If you sign up for Patreon and you sign up for the $9 a month account, I will send you the full list of tested and winning indicators to date. I will also send you an updated list of the indicators that we are testing at the end of each week. Now, of course, you have to stay subscribed to the $9 monthly subscription, to continue to receive the updated list of indicators. But that way it will provide me with the support that I need to continue to provide the free content that I am putting out for everybody to view. Now, if you just love the channel in general and want to support us, then there is also a lower, I think $3 Patreon subscription that you can sign up for that will also help support the channel and keep things going, so that way I can continue to produce the content and the open information that we are creating here in this channel and in our Discord server. Again, if you have not signed up for our Discord, then you need to do that as well. It is a absolutely free platform where we have real-time ability to chat and have conversations about trading. And again, if you want to support the channel with Patreon, then you can find the link down below in the description. All right, as I said, today we will be testing the average, true range, high, low indicator. But before we do, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested 196 indicators. And out of those 196 indicators, 79 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 79 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. All right. So today's indicator, as I said, is the ATR high-low range indicator. You can see it here on screen. It's a relatively simplistic indicator. There's not a whole lot going on with it. And so in that aspect, yeah, it's relatively easy. Now, the creator of this indicator, of course, it's a TradingView member created indicator, and so you can find a link to it down below in the description. The creator of the indicator really didn't give an idea of how this indicator should be used. And so again, we are left to kind of make assumptions and just try things on our own, see what we can get out of it, just tweaking it and testing it and playing with it. So looking at it, there are a few different ways that I thought this indicator could be used. The first thing I noticed is that there is the purple line and the light blue. Let's see if we can't. Give these things a little bit more definition. There we go. So there's the purple line and the light blue line. And you can see that they cross back and forth. And so that's very similar to the SSL type indicator that we have tested. It's very similar to, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say the moving average cross because it doesn't seem to be exactly the same. Now, I believe there was one other indicator that we tested that was a moving average where it calculated the high and like a multiplier of like 1 above, and then the low negative multiplier, I think is the best way to explain it, on the low side, and so it created like a channel. Now, I don't believe that they crossed, though, was the thing. I believe they just created a channel that followed along with price action. And so, in this case, the fact that it does cross makes it a little bit different. And so, but looking at the cross, to be real honest, it doesn't seem to, I mean, I guess technically you could trade it off of the cross, but just kind of looking at it, I don't think that's going to be the best option for us to attempt to trade it. I think what's going to be the best option is to trade the breakout of the lines. And so, for example, you can see right here on screen where if we considered in between the lines to be a ranging or choppy market, and we ignore everything that is happening while price action is in between those lines. And then again, we ignore the cross that take place with the ATR high and low itself. And basically, what we're looking for is when price action is in the middle ranging and it breaks out to the upside. So similar to like a baseline, when it crosses up above, that would be a signal to go long. And we would take that signal. Then when it returns back into the middle of the two bands and it breaks down below, like you can see right here, that would be a signal to go short. And so I think that is going to be the best way to attempt to trade this indicator. It appears that what this indicator is, I mean, as the name implies, is that it is the ATR, the average true range, high and low. And so the high and low range. And so it in my opinion, creates an average true range support and resistance channel. And often what we see is that when a move is taking place, it tends to break out of, it tends to, uh, uh, yeah, I guess breakout is the best way to say it. It tends to break out of the ATR range that has been created when price action isn't really moving with momentum. And so you can see that in the ATR itself. If you go and you pull up the ATR and you look at, especially if you have it on a lower setting like a 14 period, if you look at the calculation of the ATR during a ranging market, it's relatively low. And then as the momentum and as a move takes off, you will see that the calculation of the ATR increases quite significantly. And so that if we're calculating the range of the ATR during a ranging market when there's not a lot of momentum, and then we watch for a spike, price action to spike through that range, then it only stands to reason that that is a sign of momentum in the market. So that's kind of my thought process behind how this works. Now, I could be completely wrong. I could be just, completely fumbling how this thing is meant to be traded, or, better ways of doing it. Not really sure. Again, I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, like we do often when there's not a lot of instruction on how to trade a specific indicator. And it doesn't seem like this indicator is a common one that a lot of people use, or that really exists as far as I understand. I mean, it's possible that maybe someone else has created something similar, or maybe even this particular one and I just have never found it or heard of it. But this seems to be an indicator that was created, um, solely by the TradingView member, and doesn't really have a history of anyone else developing it first. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I wasn't able to find anything on a ATR high-low range indicator in any of my research except for this one here on TradingView. So again, that kind of leaves us in the dark as to what this thing is and how we should use it, considering how the creator on TradingView didn't give us any information. All right, so with all that being said, that is how we are looking to test it. Again, we are looking for a break, and it doesn't matter whether it's the blue line or the purple line that is on top or bottom. Either way, whatever line, regardless of color, that is on top, when we get a breakout to the upside, it's a signal to go long. Whatever line, regardless of color, is on bottom, when we get a breakout, that is a signal to go short. And that's how we are going to test it today. So let's get on with it. See what we can get out of this. All right, so there is our first signal right there. We get a break to the downside. Let's keep an eye on it and see what happens. Unfortunately, that one does not look like, take that back. That little tail right there to the downside actually got us to take profit. Then we spike back up here and we get a signal to the upside. Let's go ahead and watch this and see what it does. That one also appears to get us to take profit. Let's double check. Might have gotten stopped out actually. Yep. Unfortunately, we got stopped out on this one. Drop down below and then spike back up one more time right here, which would be another valid entry. That one definitely got us to take profit. All right, here, that was a break to the downside right there on that one, and almost immediately it turned around and shot up, and looks like it faked us out again on this one. But then here broke up above one more time, and again that one would have gotten us to take profit. So similar to what happened back here, fake out on the first one, then it spiked up above and actually took off. All right, let's see here. So we drop into the center there, we spike up above right there. I'm wondering if, yeah, so we would have been out on that one. This would have been another valid signal, which stopped us out rather quickly as well. Alright, so we're moving on now. Let's see what else we can get. There's a move to the upside right there. So that's interesting because it gapped down right here, and that would have gapped down below the stop that we had in place, and so that unfortunately would have stopped us out as it came back up to then go in our direction once again. So I'm kind of seeing an interesting pattern here that we'll discuss in a moment that might be beneficial in another way. Let's see, we get that right there. And you see that it ranged out right there. Move to the downside there. Zoom in on this one a little bit more. So yeah, it looks like it barely made it to take profit. I mean, we can look at the values up here. So it opened at 42. Is that right? Yeah, the open was 74.42, and the low of it was 73.82. So yeah, it barely got us, barely skimmed out that 50% take profit. All right, moving along, we're about midway through the year now. It's kind of a toss-up at this point as to what we're going to get out of this indicator. Really doesn't seem to be a clear defined wins versus losses at this point, so kind of evenly matched, if you will. Oop, hold on now. I paused it and it did not pause. Looking at these right here, wondering. No, doesn't look like it was. Wasn't able to actually break that top line there, but it did come down over here. That one appears to be a winner. Let's just double check it. Yep, barely squeezed it in once again. Now into October of the year. Again, getting pretty close. There is another move right there. Good solid short on that one. Then we get this crazy spike took place right here. Now keep in mind that we are looking for only closes. The candle has to close beyond. It's not the wicks that we're looking at. It's the bodies of the candles themselves. They have to close beyond the line. This one is kind of debatable, and this happens from time to time, especially on like moving averages, stuff like that. But you can see that part of the body is below the line, part of it is not below the line. So we'll go ahead and say that that was a close below, because there is a significant amount of the candle's body sticking through the line there. Unfortunately, that would have been a losing trade there. Then we see that we get a pretty decent move to the upside here. And keep on playing it on. So right here, it sunk, price action sunk back in between the lines, but never actually comes up and closes above that upper band there. Doesn't actually come up above the band until again right here. Now, once again, this is an interesting situation that will take place sometimes, and that's because the candles are moving, pretty much on a horizontal axis. So they're moving to the side. You can see that when we start using lines that connect to points, they start creating these angles. And these angles can sometimes actually split between two candles. You can see it happen right here. So this big candle right here didn't actually close above this line, but this next candle right here, when it opens, it now the close of this candle, it is beyond that line. It's above that line when it never actually crossed it. It just kind of skipped over the line. But this would definitely read as a cross once that candle closes. So keep that in mind. Don't get confused by that. That can sometimes throw you off in your back testing, is that, you know, it appears that the candle never actually crosses that line. So all right, that is a long there. Let's measure it out. We get to take profit only barely, but take profit nonetheless. Let's go ahead and keep playing it out here. Looks like we are actually, yep, end of the year right there. All right, so there we have it. That is the ATR high-low range indicator. So let's add them up and see. Let's add up the signals here and see what we get out of them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So 19 signals altogether. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 10 winning signals. So unfortunately, that is not going to meet the 60% criteria. That's unfortunate because it seemed like maybe we had something decent to work with. But again, I did notice a pattern, and it's possible that some of you also noticed it as we were testing it. And we've pointed this out on a few different indicators in the past. And it's possible that maybe this might be a more efficient way to actually trade this indicator. And so now I'm not a huge fan of this way of trading, but it does have its place in the trading world, and it's definitely something you could probably use on a lower time frame to get some really decent trades in. And that is reversal trading. And so if you notice, almost every single time the candle breaks, it has a significant pullback. I mean, I guess I wouldn't even say a significant pullback. Sometimes it's just one candle that has a pullback. But you can see that down here, we break the lower band, and even though we were able to capture the 50 pips, you can see that this big red bar, or this red bar right here, it's a little bar, has a big wick on it, and then we get a reversal back into the bands. You can see here, when we break out with this big long bar, the next candle is a big red candle that reversed. And now if you were looking at this on a lower time frame, and we might jump down to a lower time frame here real quick. Don't want this video to get too long. But you see now we go to this one, it breaks down below and has a pullback right back into the bands. You see here, it breaks out with this big long bar. Again, it paints what they call railroad tracks, a big red bar, almost the exact same size, pulling back into the bands. Now we get this one right here, and it doesn't seem to work out quite as well. This is one where it takes off and actually is able to get some momentum up and out of there. But then we move up here and you see it breaks out. We have a red reversal bar. Breaks out here. We have a massive red reversal bar right there. This one's a little bit different. It paints a little bar right here and then gaps down, so that would have been definitely hard to capture anything out of that one. But you see now over here, we hit this one and we spike back into the bands. We hit this one here, and even though we come down a little ways, we come back into the bands. And so out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 of the signals that we have on screen right now, this isn't all of them, it's just these 12s. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's see, I wouldn't really call that one, 7, 8, and so 8 of them had a reversal that took place after after the price action made its break. And so if we mapped out some of these in purple, just going to change the color of a couple of these. That one, no. That one did eventually. And that one, yes. We could drop down to a lower time frame. Let's see if we can get back to these. Yeah. So you might be able to capture, once it breaks, you could look for reversals that might be ready to take place. Not a great one there, but you see that it does spike up here, and then you get this heavy reversal that comes in there. Maybe if you put it on a 3 hour, it might paint the picture just a little bit better. Of course, you have to be mindful of the direction that you're moving in. This one was for the upside, and then it pulled back here. Took a second, but if you were watching this and just kind of watching and monitoring, you see that it did have a really big engulfing candle here on this one. If you'd have set your stop loss at 20 pips above that and entered, you could have easily gotten this little leg, but that when it looks like the next week it then started to have a pretty decent downward movement there. I believe this one was a down here. This was a break to the lower side, and so if you would have watched this one here, this is again the 3 hour chart, you see almost immediately it starts giving you these wicks to the downside. It's a very good sign of a reversal in price action taking place. And so you could have taken this for a long and easily, hit that and just rode it up for, how many ever pips that it got out of it. So again, just something to be mindful of. Always be looking for different ways to use indicators, even if they don't necessarily work out in the way that we hope they will. You could definitely use indicators in different ways for different methods, different time frames, and so on. So if you're interested in trading a lower time frame, this might be something you could look into, giving you signals when price seems to be overextended. It seems to kind of be what it looks like to me. So anyways, yeah, the ATR high-low, unfortunately, it's going to go on the no list, and we are going to move on to the next indicator from here. If you have not already, like this video,
comment below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. As part of the team, it's important that you are seeing the new videos as they come out so you know what it is that we are discussing and what indicators we are testing, have tested, and have not tested. Also, like usual, there is a link below in the description to the Discord server. You can join us on Discord so that way we can further discuss the indicators and have discussions as we move forward building our trading system. And lastly, like usual, there is a link below to TradingView. If you like what you see whenever I use TradingView, and you are interested in signing up for TradingView, if you use the link below and sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money. So, all right, everybody, I will see you on the next video.